Hi everyone, John Cottrell here of MBODY Yoga, and this is Soft Flow Yoga. Thanks for joining me. In this practice, we're going to get strong with plank pose. Let's get started. Before we hop into our strength building practice, let's start in seated just to get connected, mindful, and return to breath. So join me in taking a nice full breath in. Exhale through the mouth with a sigh. Good. One more time. Nice full breath in. Exhale. Just continue with slow, steady breaths. At the beginning of each soft flow practice, we like to get mindful, connected, and build that foundation of our practice. And we do that with breath. A little pranayama, breath control. Nice full breath in, complete exhale. And just enjoy the sensation of the breath. Be aware of how your body is responding to your breath. That might be the simple rise and fall of your chest or your belly, even your back or your shoulders. And listen to the sound of your breath. So if it's a little quiet, try to turn up the volume of your breath. These are just simple things just to be more connected, more aware, to bring you to the present moment. Good. This is also a wonderful opportunity to set your personal intention for your practice. We will be doing a variety of plank poses, just regular plank, side plank, and reverse plank. These are some wonderful upper body strength positions. So if you want to build strength, if that's part of your personal intention, breathe that in. Good, let's take 3 more breaths, just holding in stillness. Let's add a very simple movement. When you're ready, inhale and extend your arms out and up. Good stretch, reach for the ceiling. Then exhale, extend your arms out across the room. Feel as if you'll touch the walls on either side of you, finishing the breath when you bring your arms back down. Again, breathing in, reaching out and up. Good effort as you extend. Reach through your fingertips. Exhale, reaching out. Good effort. Touch the walls. Let's do one more. Breathe in, reaching out and up. And exhale. Good. Let's do a little movement of the shoulders. When we get into reverse plank, it is an opening of the shoulders. So we want to make sure we have some mobility, some good functionality in the shoulders. Right now I'm just doing my left shoulder. You can do your right shoulder if you're mirroring me. I'm just doing circles backward and then forward. And we'll do the other side. Just some good circles here. Forward and backward. Let's take the same arm, reach out, so your left hand, and bring it across your body. Let's take the other arm, a little hook, and draw it in. So you feel a stretch that's coming from the rear portion of the shoulder around towards the front. And just take several breaths. I'm going to release the hook, keep the arm over here, but reach over, then up and around, a big wave, just to get that mobility through the shoulder. And then you can kind of shake it out. Let's do the other side. So right arm extends out to the side, bring it across the body. Let's give it a hook, draw it in, and just feel that stretch. I'm taking about 5 breaths here. Let's go ahead and release that hook. Big wave, reach out and up and down. A little circle here. Let's do one more thing while we're still seated. That's just a side bend. I'm going to bring my blocks in for this on either side, kind of like an armchair. So I'm going to take my left arm, just mirror me, so your right arm out across the room here, and this other arm, my left arm or right arm, just bring it down either to the hand or forearm on your block, or you can just place the hand on the floor. So reach out and then up and across the body, over the head, until you start to feel a nice light stretch down through the left side of your body. And we'll hold here for several breaths. Now, if you feel like this is too low, you can always come up a little bit, maybe hand on the floor, maybe just bend the elbow. That way you can just gauge how far you tip over. Another big wave up, sitting up tall, reaching out and down. Another nice circle. We'll do the other side. So hand on the block or floor or the elbow. Extend the right arm out and up and over. Reach through the fingers. Nice lengthening through the sides of the body. Finishing here, reaching out and up, rising up, reach across the room and back down. Another nice circle here. Very good. Okay, let's move these props to the side. Come to hands and knees. And you're welcome to use your blanket if you have one, just for a little extra padding for your knees and your wrists. Here, just moving through cat and cow. This is actually going to prepare us for our first plank pose. So, being sure you're pushing strongly down into your blanket or mat or the floor, strong straight arms, and keep them straight for this. Cat and cow. We're going to inhale, moving into cow pose first, tipping the head forward, arching the back, pelvis tips back, creates a bit of a back bend sensation. On the exhale, start with the back end, tuck the pelvis under. Feel your belly button pull up towards spine. Your back will naturally round, chin to chest, and there's cat. Inhale, tip pelvis back, belly drops. There's the back bend, heart opens, look forward. Exhale, round it out. Just finding and feeling some good mobility through your spine, the whole back body, and this nice rocking sensation of the pelvis. Meanwhile, just remember, hands just pressing firmly into the earth. Strong straight arms for the duration. We're going to take a little break in a moment just to rest the hands, and we'll start to work into our 3-part plank pose practice. Finish the breath that you're on and take one more. Here's my last one. And just finish in a neutral tabletop posture, just holding here for a moment. Okay, let's rest our hands. Tuck your toes behind you. Start to sit back, hips towards heels. Walk your hands towards your knees just until you're able to lift the hands off the blanket or floor. Little circle of the wrists. Since that was a forced flex with the hand, that can fatigue the wrist here. So we're just going to flip that and even do a light pulse. Very gentle. I'm like doing 3 pulses, both hands, just for a little counter stretch. And then I like to do circling with the wrists and wiggle the fingers. It really helps take some of that tension away. Alrighty, I'm going to continue to use my blanket, but just for the upper body. Okay, and just for my hands up here. Let's start working into plank pose. I'm going to give you some variations. Okay, so come back to hands and knees, just like this. And at the moment, you'll feel that your shoulders are stacked over your wrists, hips over your knees. Okay, let's keep the upper body in place, but step the knees back a little bit. And then maybe back a little bit more. Now, if you feel like you're starting to sink in the middle, Just keep the hips up a little bit, still pressing hands into the earth, shoulders relatively over the wrists here. This is a nice variation of plank pose. Good strength building for the arms and your chest. Another feeling you want to create here is feeling like your forearms, the inner arms here, are squeezing in towards each other, even your biceps, towards the center. Now, you can tuck your toes, moving into a full plank pose. Inhale just to lengthen through the spine, preparing the body to move. On the exhale, lifting the knees off the floor. And here's our plank pose. Again, we want to be sure we're not sinking in our center. Lift the hips, even lift them maybe to about shoulder level, but not too high. Creating a nice, strong, straight line. Feeling the energy and strength in your plank pose. Okay, we're going to take a pause here. Bring the knees down. Tuck toes. Sit back to what I call half hero so you can relieve the wrists. We're going to do that plank pose again. And when we are in that posture, the breathing sensation is inhaling, feeling as if you're extending your spine, getting long, moving through the crown of your head, even through the heels of your feet, moving in these opposite directions. The exhale, you can even breathe out through the mouth. Feel your belly button pull in towards your spine. Not only is this good upper body work, we're also strengthening our core. All right, let's get ready. Here, strong press into the floor with the hands, strong arms, tuck toes, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, pull belly button up towards spine, lifting knees, getting a sense that your hips are about shoulder level. Inhale, feel like you're getting longer in energy, moving through the top of your head, heels of your feet, moving in these opposite directions. Exhale, still feel your biceps pull in towards midline, towards each other, belly button pulling up towards spine. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, let's rest. Now we're going to continue resting just like this, sitting back, resting the wrists. Good. So that's a basic plank pose. Now, let's hop into some variations. Side plank, I'm going to give you 2 variations of that, and then reverse plank. Alrighty. Now, when we get into side plank, we're still working core, upper body, arms, but you're also going to get into the obliques, kind of the side portions of the abdominal system. You can still use your blanket if you need some padding. Let's do our modified version first. Okay, come to hands and knees, just like this. I'm going to tap my right foot. I'm just going to swing that right foot off to the right side. It might even just go right off the mat. Kind of lean over into right hand and right knee so I can easily lift this left knee and extend the leg back. Keep the toes on the floor. Now basically, I'm just going to open up sideways here, just like this, reaching this left hand up into the air. This right knee, right hand, just giving me some stability. Now I want to feel as if I'm wearing a belt and I'm pushing the belt buckle forward. Okay, just to help open up through the hips, nice opening up through the chest, feeling quite sideways here. Arm extension right here. Good variation, good modification of the pose. We're going to remain on this side and do the full version of side plank in a moment. 3, 2, 1, and carefully come back down. Now, if you need to rest that wrist, go ahead and sit back. Gentle pulses if you'd like. Alrighty. Now the full version of side plank, we're not placing the knee on the floor. We're going to extend the legs. I'm going to give you some tips on really how to stabilize that posture. Okay, for this, I'm just going to actually move my blanket just so I have a little bit more stability. Sometimes the blanket makes me feel a little bit more wobbly. So I'm just going to use the mat here. All right, back to hands and knees, tucking toes. I'm going to come all the way to our first plank posture. I'm going to bring right foot towards left foot and start to lean my hips over to the right and open up. So I'm on the outside edge of my right foot. The left leg is stacked on top. Now I can feel a lot of pressure in this right hand, and my hip is sinking. Tip number 1, feel this hip lifting, left hip lifting up towards the ceiling, just as your left hand's reaching for the ceiling. Also feel the belly button or your belt buckle still pushing forward, opening up. That's side plank. And flex your feet here. Now, flexing the feet just energizes the legs. You want the legs to be straight. If the knees are bent, you're going to feel really wobbly and won't be able to stabilize this pose. So be sure legs are straight. Modification, one foot in front of the other. 3, 2, 1. Coming back down. Knees to the floor. Sitting back. I'm just going to take a full hero here. That's a lot of pressure on that wrist. Let's circle. All right, let's do our variation. Side plank on the other side, and then full version. Hands and knees. Swing that left foot off to the side. Lean towards the left so I can extend this right leg back. Keep the toes on the floor. Keep leaning to the left so I can free this right hand and open up sideways. Pushing belt buckle forward, helping to open up the hips. Reaching up, opening up. Left hand pushing strongly into the ground, keeping the arms straight. Great variation for side plank. You can hold it a bit longer. Good hip opener. Arm strengthening here. And working the side of the body. Breathe in, and let's breathe out and come out. Return to hands and knees. If you need to rest, rest the wrist, or follow me. We'll go right into the other side, or the other version. Tuck toes, lift knees, plank. I'm going to bring this left foot over towards right foot, and then lean to the left so I can open up. So I'm opening up. So I'm on the outside edge of the left foot. My hips are sinking, so I lift. Reach up, pelvis pushing forward. Flex the feet, keeps the legs strong. Be sure the legs are absolutely straight. I'm going to give you another variation. You can stagger the feet or take a foot, push it down into the floor to help you lift. As you exhale, pulling belly button in and feeling the engaged side body. 3, 2, 1, and we're finished. Here. Down to the knees, sitting back, rest the wrist. Good. Now we got one more version of plank pose. It's reverse plank, a posture we don't commonly do, but it really opens the chest, helps open the shoulders, okay? Getting a pretty significant stretch through the tie-in between the shoulder and the chest. I'm going to give you 2 versions of this. So we're going to swing around. So you're seated, legs out front. You might even sit up tall here for a moment in staff pose, and from here we'll set it up. So we'll do version number 1, which is the variation. I'm going to step the hands back, fingers pointing towards the body. Bend the elbows and lean back a little bit. Elbows squeeze in, we're always squeezing towards midline. Roll the shoulders back, opening up through the chest. It almost feels like you're doing a little bit of a back bend here. My feet are flexed at the moment just to energize the legs. I'm going to have you point your toes. This is our setup. We're doing variation. So I'm going to slide the foot towards myself, bending the knees. I might need to step the hands back a little bit. So you're going to kind of create a little tabletop with the body. Elbows are bent, roll shoulders back, tip chin up. Breathe in, fill up the lungs, preparing the body to move. On the exhale, push into the floor with the hands, straightening the arms and lifting the hips. Now don't worry if the hips don't lift too high, just off the floor. If you can get them higher to form more like a table, there is our variation of reverse plank. You can feel perhaps how it really opens up through the chest and shoulders. Inhale, exhale to come down. All right, I'm just going to extend the legs again. Now we've got the hands kind of flipped in the same fashion as our regular plank, so let's give them a gentle Pulse on the other side here. Wiggle the fingers. Alrighty. Let's do our last variation, reverse plank, full version. Hands behind you. Elbows bend. So you can kind of come down because you can use that as leverage to come up. Roll shoulders back. If you're able, squeeze shoulder blades together. Lifting chest, even lift the chin slightly. Flexed feet initially, but now point toes. Inhale, fill up the lungs. Exhale, push hands strongly down into the floor, straightening the arms, lifting the hips as high as you can. You're really just forming nice plank style posture. Lifting hips because they'll want to sink. Keep chin slightly up so you're looking up. I'm shaking, so this is a pretty significant pose. Strong arms lifting up through the hips, strong core. 1, 2, 3, and let's come back down. Good. To finish, let's go ahead and lie down in Shavasana. A lot of work for the body. Go ahead and draw the knees into chest. Maybe a little circle, a little movement here. Very engaging for the entire body for our plank pose practice. Let's take a twist. Let's send the knees over to the left side, right arm over to the right side for a nice twist. Maybe 3 breaths here. Nice deep cleansing breaths. After those 3 breaths, let's come back up to center with the knees. Pause for a moment, and we'll take the knees over to the right side. Left arm extends over to the left. 3 deep breaths. I'm going to roll over to my side and then press up to seated. Now you're welcome to come right into Shavasana, lie in Shavasana for a few minutes to help end your practice. Or if you're ending your practice with me here, just come up to seated, nice and tall, lengthen spine. Check in with the shoulders, relax the shoulders, arms relaxed as well. Take a deep breath in. And out. One last movement together. Inhale, reaching out and up. And the exhale, bring your palms together and down to your heart. One more breath in. Exhale. Good. Thank you so much for joining me in this practice today. Namaste. Thank you so much for watching and participating in this yoga lesson. To help us with the channel so we can continue to bring you more content, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. It's really appreciated. Namaste.